So let's start then. This is my first time interviewing so many people at the same time. So thank you for giving me the time to talk about this this exciting new project. I'm honored. First of all, who had seen the original film before accepting or being selected for this sequel?
Gideon.
I mean, I saw it when I was like a teenager, like 14. I did rewatch it again, but yeah, I've seen it a few times.
It was very interesting to know that many people thought that this film would be a remake of the 96 cult classic. However, it is a sequel 20 years later. In making a sequel, take some pressure off you guys, if any, of having to honor what the original film was, because it is a different story that you could make your own. What can you tell me, let's say, Cailee?
I'd say that, I don't know about you girls, but I tried to not focus too much on the original because this really was its own thing. It stands alone. You know, I think what Zoe Lister-Jones, our writer-director, did, it was so genius. She took this cult classic 90s film and really used it as a vehicle to use genre as a way to make commentary about the world we're in now, what it means to be a young woman. So that, I think the script in itself, knowing that it stood by itself, took the pressure off.
Another thing was that, well, obviously, in her directorial debut, Zoe Lister showed a talent for working with relationships, and this film is no exception. There's no exception. It was something that caught my attention, how she developed the characters' journeys. For example, the first scene in which you bought your colleague, it was a very intimate and personal moment. And she had the sensitivity to present it in a real and honest way. What can you tell me about that dynamics and working with Zoe specifically, Lovie? What can you tell me?
Working with Zoe was like really, I always say, like, I've been like extremely blessed to like work with women directors and like artistic women directors who are very like firm in what their vision is. And I feel like Zoe knew exactly what she wanted, but I feel like she wasn't like dead locked in on like this exact way it had to go. So it did make it kind of easier for us to have our input and for her to like work around that. I feel like just like having her connect, or being able to like connect me to my character, is like all I need to know to show that like a person is like a very good storyteller by their self. Because I know Zoe also is an actress, so like I love that I also know that about her, because then she also like understands me, and like it made the whole filming process just like easy and just like a group project.
Yeah.
So Zoe, let's talk a little bit about the chemistry between you guys. That was another great aspect of the film. What off-camera things did you do, or what kind of anecdote or story can you share that helped create that bond that is perceived on screen?
Well, definitely, like, I think what really helped create the bond was how willing we all were to be so raw with each other and to just be ourselves. Because, you know, a lot of the time in Hollywood, there's a lot of faces and a lot of like, this is who I am, you know? But I feel like these girls were genuinely who they said they were, and just were genuinely almost like our characters in a lot of ways. So like, it's almost like we had an introduction to each other before even meeting. And I think that I just want to thank these girls for being so raw and so honest, and being honestly like my backbone in a lot of situations that I've gone through, and for always genuinely caring about what I've been going through and like everything. We all just definitely we're a bunch of gals, you know. Second day I'm there, I meet all four of them, and we're all in a room and we're talking about it. And I just, you know, I look at my ring finger and I just rip it off, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not engaged at 18 years old. What am I doing? So yeah, we all just were very vulnerable with each other, which was really a pleasure. So thank you guys, y'all gals.
That showed the screen as you told it. It was another thing is that being a sequel, it is presented very different from the original, which was closer to suspense, terror, than to a drama about friendship, more like a coming of age kind of story. What do you think about the approach to the story this time? and dealing with or tackling strong issues that affects young people today, like suicide, alienation, acceptance, and even bullying. Gideon, what can you tell me about how you have to deal with those important subjects or tough subjects for young people today?
Well, what I've said before, which I think is so amazing, is how organically Zoe Lister-Jones kind of mended those topics into the storyline, and how, you know, you're really like, movies are funny because there's so much happens in a short period of time after you meet these characters, and but that is the way life is. And you know, with Lourdes being trans, and then Tabby has one part where you talk about how being Black in America is scary, and you're scared for your little brother every day, and it's just little increments of these things that are, you know, a very big deal in our society nowadays. And you know, little like suicide topics that should always be in teen films or adult films in the US. And I just think, you know, it's definitely more telling, and it's nice to not see women tear each other down, rather raise each other up. And I love that so far in all of our interviews, people have caught on to that, and how, you know, we're not like shoving these things down your throat. It's just integrated into this storyline. And I don't know which one of you said this, but I thought it was so great how like Zoe took a 90s cult classic film and like integrated all of these really important new cultural aspects into it. And yeah, I think it would be.
So I was reading that for the original film, they had on set during the spell sequences, consultants or even experts on such topics as the occultism, witchcraft, black magic. Did you have that kind of expertise or support from consultants during filming? And if not, what kind of research did you do on the subject of witchcraft, Cailee?
We had 3 witch consultants. We had Brie Luna, who runs The Hood Witch. You can find her on Instagram. She's so great. We had Pam Grossman, who is she has a podcast called The Witch Wave, and also a book called Waking the Witch, which I read for prepping this movie. And she also choreographed all of our scenes where we were doing spells. We had rehearsals prior, and she was there telling us where to sit, what hand movements we should be doing, what order, what cadence we should be saying the spells in. And then we also had a local witch who was on set every day we were doing any sort of spell work. Her name's Erin Fogel. So yeah, we took it very seriously. It was something that we wanted to honor and respect, and we didn't want to call on things that weren't supposed to be called on. We wanted to make sure it was anything that we were putting out there, it was safe. And something that Pam Grossman said when we were rehearsing the scenes, and Gideon, obviously you remember this, you took so many notes, but magic doesn't know when you're acting. So we were on top of it and did our research.
Excellent. Going back in time, I remember when the movie premiered. By the way, I saw this movie when it got originally released, so kind of old. There were very few films that featured female empowered female characters. I remember films like, for example, Cruel Intentions, obviously the original Craft, and Thelma and Louise. That was during the 90s. What can you tell me about how cinema has reinvented itself? That we see more and more powerful, independent, and strong female characters in controls, as is the case in this film. Zoe.
What was the question?
What can you tell me about how cinema has reinvented itself? That we see more powerful, independent, and strong females on the big screen.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. I mean, I would say that first of all, it included more women in the backgrounds of, you know, women tales. I mean, Zoe Lister-Jones wrote and directed this movie. She wrote it, right? Yeah. Yes, she did. And sorry, I just need to make sure I have my facts correct. But Zoe Lister-Jones wrote this movie and directed it. So that is a really huge step because it's literally a story about girls for girls. So it only makes more sense that it was created by an actual woman. I feel like a lot that has helped change is also the Me Too movement. It's really shifted the power of how much men have over their actors and over just each other in general. And I feel like I would say a lot of activism in the like outside of the Hollywood world has really helped push more inclusion inside of the actual industry world. And I feel like Hollywood has really changed just by, I don't know, I really don't know how to answer that like on the inside because I have only been inside for like a year or two. But I would just say that it's definitely changed by listening to us. And I think that women rule the world, so it was bound to happen sooner or later, period. We birthed all of you, I mean, except for me, but I can adopt.
Thank you so much, ladies, for this awesome film, and stay safe. Thank you for giving me the time to.
Thank you.
You too. Thank you, Felix.
Stay safe. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.